Hanging out up here in Oswego today. We are at A&P, right down the street from the Speedway, right across from our good friends at Garofalo's Important. Right off the screen with me is Mike Silliman. He actually is like the Hoosier tire liaison with Oswego Speedway. He does a lot of the ordering and things like that, lets them know basically when they need to order a particular tire. There is a rule change this year for the Supermodifieds on the right front tire. On the left, you see the tire that was last year's tire, and on the right, you can see the tire that will be this year's tire. And that right front, by the way, that the Supermodifieds will be running this year is the same one that ISMA has run in the past. So Mike's going to run down some differences on these two tires and kind of evaluate exactly what this rule change means. First of all, Mike, how we doing?
Doing great, thank you, Doug.
So as obviously we can see, the biggest thing is that that tire on the right is considerably taller. How much taller is it actually?
It's about an inch taller, so diameter-wise, you're about 2.5, 2 3/4 inches in diameter.
Okay, and also you were just measuring the what do we call it? The contact patch,
The
track
contact patch, yeah, you've got about 3/4 to 7/8 of an inch wider contact patch on the newer tire.
Okay, so when we look at these, that tire on the right, now this is one that ISMA has been running for how long?
They started running this in 2017.
Okay, so a lot of the guys obviously that know and run that series know this tire pretty well.
Correct.
Okay, compound's the same?
Compound's a little bit softer. This is a 2040 compound where the old tire was a 2045.
How big of a deal is that?
Not a lot.
Okay, I mean obviously softer tires wear more, and it is on, is the right front the one that wears the most on these cars in general?
It can be, depending on how you're set up and how you're driving it. But with this tire now and the change to the left rear, we're putting the tire management back into the driver's hands, along with the aero change, of course, which will also take some grip away.
Yeah, because you told me this tire on the right is also a left rear for what now?
That's the left rear ISMA tire.
Left rear
So
ISMA
it
tire.
really works out well for them, where they could use a tire and just swap it back and forth from left rear to right front, you know, for practice needs, or if one tire size is different than the other.
That's a good point, because even though you've got the chalk mark on there, they don't always come exactly, you know, within a 16th of that sometimes, do they?
Exactly.
Okay. So the biggest thing is, I would think for guys that run both now, they don't have to have a tire that's just specific for their Super with the tail wing package.
That's exactly right. So now everybody, Oswego, ISMA, NESS, they're all on the same right front tire. This is going to help because basically the tire we have been running, we've run the same tire since 1994 with some different upgrades. ISMA got away from it, NESS got away from it, the California series got away from it. There was some stock car classes in the Midwest that were running it. They've gotten away from it. So with Oswego, the only one doing it, running that tire,
Yeah, we're talking about the old one on
the
the
old
left.
one,
Yes.
it made more sense for Hoosier and for everybody to eliminate the tire, and then all of super modified racing is on the same right front tire.
No, that makes sense because we are manufacturing a product. So if we're making a one that just doesn't sell as much, it makes sense to consolidate. I guess is a good word for it, right?
And with what we've gone through in the last 4 years since COVID, it's a good idea to consolidate.
So with everything, because we talked a little bit about the wing changes. By the way, it's a wing angle change, making it a little flatter, and also they took the wicker bill. That's the part on the back. And some people have said that's hundreds of pounds of downforce change, right? Is that about right?
Well, it's
really
about
know?
a 20% decrease in downforce. They did testing in the wind tunnel back in 2018 in the fall. They had a couple cars down there with tails, and they did these. And when they're experimenting with the new tail wing, and when they did test at that, it was about 20% decrease from what we had previous. So
Okay.
that's the only solid facts that we had on that, because we couldn't do any testing last year, so we're going to have to start out with that.
Okay. So it seems to me that we're losing a little bit in the back, but with this taller right front and a little wider and a little softer, we're gaining a little turning in capability. Is that right?
That could be correct, yeah.
Okay. Big difference? Small difference? Something in the middle?
I think probably in the middle.
Okay. So is this going to mean throwing away all our sheets and starting all over?
You never want to do that because, you know, you could have something that's going to, that you had years ago that'll come into play, but I think you're gonna take some rear grip away. We just took the rear grip away. We're gonna take some front grip away. And now you got to run it and see how it handles.
Okay, well, this is it, guys. So as you can see, this is the difference. A little bit wider, a little bit taller, a little bit softer. We'll see how the teams adjust. Again, I want to thank Garofalo's Importing for having us up. And, of course, you guys at A&P, we appreciate your help, too. So now you guys know a little bit more about it. If you have any comments or questions, leave them here. And, of course, subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Hit a like if you can. Thanks again, Mike. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.